Hey, we're just gonna talk literally casually about business, life, family stuff.
You
Do
bet.
you we're gonna go into do you know about the money market stuff? Like banks are giving crazy money right now. Do you know about that?
No, I really haven't been following along, after that bank crashed in California. I haven't done a whole lot of research on what's going on.
I'm about to switch all mine to keep I'm literally texting a local banker right now who does credit unions because I'm
Yeah,
gonna get away from big banks. But they're giving I saw like a couple weeks ago where Apple was giving 4%
really.
on like just money in the bank, like 4% interest as long as you have like 10,000 minimum,
Huh.
which you know I'm gonna wow that yeah she's texting me right now. She just said that she would give me 3.75%.
Gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna tell her I'll move everything. So 375. So like let's say just use a round number. If you had 100 grand, I'm gonna have to tell her to tell me. If you had 100 grand, I think that means they're gonna pay you $3,750 just to have your money at their bank. That's it.
It's crazy.
Like nothing. It's just like your normal accounts. It just sits there.
What if you had a million in there? That's gonna be 32. That's insane.
Let me ask her. So yeah, I think that's how that works.
Mhm.
Anyways, it's crazy. It's a crazy time. Like, with the banks closing and with just money in general, like inflation, dude, is out of control. I just did a video yesterday with Logan, which is gonna come out where we were at Home Depot, and I went up to the Roundup, right? Like where they sell Roundup. And do you remember like back in 2020 or 2019, you could buy like Roundup for like a gallon for like 10, $12 or something?
Yeah, it's like 60, $70 now.
It's like 60, 70, $80. And that's why, especially you. Everybody, this is Trey Lambert for listening. This is Trey Lambert from Perfect Turf in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thanks, Trey, for being on the show. Um, Tell us, Trey, you're kind of becoming like a fertilization expert. Like, so tell me, yeah, like you're seeing more price increases than anybody.
Yeah.
Tell me what like. What has that been like? Like, how the heck are you raising your prices fast enough when the fertilization world is like up and down with prices right now?
Yeah. So, it's hard for us to outprice, big like Fairways and True Green. Those guys have the buying power. Their chemical cost is substantially lower. So it's kind of tougher for us to compete on that pricing. Majority of our customers are looking for the local guy essentially that's local that they can call our company up. My mom answers the phone here in the office. We really try to make our business more personable. Like, so that was our thing this year. So going into this market, we really kind of went head first into it last year. Being in the lawn and landscape for so long, it was always something as an ex-baseball player I've always wanted to get into. And so for us, my thing was, and I tell the guys every Monday morning in our meetings is like, make business personable with our clients. We want them
Mm-hmm.
to have that personal feel with our company. And we've acquired so many customers that have came from True Green or Fairways. Nothing against their company, but
Yeah, the
what
big
they
box
do
guys.
what they do is, and they're so big. So when Mrs. Johnson calls to get a question answered about her yard, she's got to go through 3 different calls, and then it gets transferred
Mm-hmm.
to. So one thing like we hammer down is just make sure we know all our customers by first name basis, and then know the ask to their lawn. And but for the pricing aspect of things, we bring more value with our company. So like our value is what our pricing model is from. So we are
It's a
higher
good, it's a good way to put
because
it.
we offer more value. And
Right.
so, for us, we did raise our rates last year. We raised all our pricing up 10% just to even remotely get close to what's going on with the fluctuation of chemical pricing. Um, but
Is
that's
your rep like sending you an updated price sheet per month or like
yeah. I mean, Yes and no. Our Harrell's rep right now, we're using them for all our fertilizer and stuff. They've been pretty straightforward on the pricing. They haven't really adjusted it too much, so it's been fantastic. And I've got my Site One rep here that Ryan, I've been good friends with him forever. Which Site One, if you know, and I know a lot of the guys in the lawn landscape, it's priced by tier stuff too. So trying to get our pricing down with that. But it has been tough, just trying to get our bulk stuff at a decently priced rate. But yeah, it's definitely tough. The pricing, the chemicals have just been super expensive last couple of years.
It's just so hard. And yeah, we're not having you on to talk necessarily about like the weeds of lawn and landscape. We can, but more or less two parts. One, to talk about you're about to have a baby, you're newly
Yeah.
married, and like I've been having a lot of guys conversations online with probably like 3 or 4 guys over the last 2 weeks. Just had a long one on in a Facebook group who just don't know how to like have a life outside of their work. And it's funny because it's not funny actually at all. They're trying so hard to do it for their family, but then they don't have any family time.
Yeah.
And so like just you becoming a new dad soon, like talking through that, what I've been doing, I've got 3 and you're about to have 1. And I think it'd just be helpful for guys to hear like our philosophies on that. And then 2, just like the inflation thing, like, I just got out of the residential side of my company because it just became untenable. Like you just do like a quick math, like if you're paying 2 guys $18 an hour plus payroll tax, you're like $40 an hour for a crew of 2. And they can probably do 2 lawns if you're lucky, but 1.5 per hour. And you're talking about like 120, $130 an hour. But once your overhead costs, I mean, you're making before taxes, you're making $40 an hour. So then taxes, you're making 15, $20 an hour. It's just not worth it. Like for all the risk you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that's why you pivoted to more fertilization in the same way, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the same way. It's just I just wonder how many guys listening right now in whatever business you're in have not really done the cost analysis of like being in business anymore. Like, not that you can't be in business now because of inflation, but I'm saying like it's gotten, if you were like being loose with it before, you know what I'm saying? Like if you were like, oh yeah, we're making money and I'm paying myself the salary and we still have money in the bank, like I'm cool, and you never really looked at it.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore. Like inflation and costs rising have made that impossible.
Yeah.
So I don't know
I
what your
know.
thoughts are
So
on
like
that.
I know our phone call yesterday. Knowing
Give some
exactly.
insight and give some,
Yeah.
you have to tell people how funny that was, dude. That was
Yeah.
so funny. I came up with that idea like on the spot.
I loved it. No, and everyone listening, I called Alex like 20 minutes later. It's like, dude, listen. So what I do is I've got my numbers dashboard. I log in every week. I definitely know my numbers more than I ever have.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I have talked about, Alex, about, obviously how important that is for what we do every day. You want to know where you're at financially.
Mm-hmm.
With my new employees, I've got new guys coming in and out, on the spot. It's tough to obviously know my break even rate. And that is super important. But yeah, just with everything that's going on for us wanting to scale, it's just, how do you scale? How do you do it? But I have to say, I'm going to pivot back real quick to your question that you had with that one guy talking about time, like trying to find family time. So for me, I've been in lawn landscape since college. 2018 is when I started out. 2017, 2018, mowing on the side.
Mm-hmm.
One of my very first customers, he was with me for years. Such a pain in my tail, but he was a fantastic individual. He fired us, I don't know how many times, and we always got him back. He passed away last year from COVID, and he in his obituary, his wife said that he always wished he regretted not fishing more. So this was the beginning of last year. I'm not mistaken, the beginning of last year. And I knew for myself, I had to make a personal pivot. I've always made sure I've had time to travel. Like traveling is one of my favorite things in the world. Fishing is like right up there in my top 5. So it was, for me, it was a pivot. Okay, we are not we're not in this world very long at all. You know, God
No.
grants us our time with our families. I think he grants us the individuals, you know, people that are blessings in your lives. And you know, we always get as entrepreneurs, and I know you and I think a lot alike because neither of us are like huge, like mowing and lawn landscape is I love it. I do love it, but I'm not overly obsessed over it. I'm obsessed with business and everything. And for me, making a pivot to, okay, I've got to make sure that, you know, my time in this world is well, you know, well served. And so last year made it definitely a pivot of block scheduling my time. My time is just as important as going and meeting, you know, Mrs. Johnson for her appointment.
Yeah.
My time is just as important. My time with my wife is more important. And block scheduling my time and valuing my time. And then as I got to this year, we've kind of hired our first operations manager. You know, my brother's kind of been the sales and operations. I've got like a legit operations manager. And one of the greatest pieces of advice I got was hiring Travis as my ops manager is buying me time, and it buys him time as well. He has a role in this company that I was doing. And I asked myself in the past, how can I afford that? Like, how can I afford that guy? I'm going back to 1, knowing your numbers. 2, how can you not afford him to buy back some of your time? Even if it's 10, 15 hours a week, that's 10, 15 hours a week. I can take Morgan to the zoo, or we can go hang out and go to dinner. I'm never going to be able to buy back 10 hours, but I've hired someone to essentially buy back my time now from this point forward.
Yeah. When at the end of our careers, we're never going to look back and go, man, I wish I worked more.
Never.
I heard a guy say that the other day, like on TikTok or something. He was like, you're never going to look back and wish you had worked more. You're never going to wish I'll tell a quick story. My daughter Sage is 4, right? And you know her well. She's kind of my whole world a little bit. I'm a dad. Yeah, I love being a dad. You're about to have a girl. You're gonna love it. And she's my little girl, man, my princess. But she's really been testing me the last few weeks on like sleeping. So like putting her in bed, and then she'll come out and pull the like, Dad, I gotta tell you something, and she doesn't know what it is yet. So she's like trying to come up with it in her mind, like on the spot. And it's pretty funny, but it's exhausting. Like. And I was in church a couple weeks ago. No. I was at a Christian business group that I'm in, C12, and they talked about gentleness was like the theme for the week or for the month. And I can get a little frustrated with her. I can get a little like, go to bed, like stop coming out here. And man, I just got hit me like a ton of bricks. It was like a Tuesday morning, and it was like, I only get so many more mornings where she's going to ask me, or nights, excuse me, to lay with her, and so many more nights to tuck her in. And I cannot wish those away just because I'm ready to like sit down on the couch with my wife and like have an hour to ourselves, or I've got work to do or whatever it is. And just being gentle. Like that's not my natural state of being. Like I'm a fast mover. I'm a driver. I'm a mover and a shaker. And to be gentle is not my forte, coming from sports my whole life and being around those types of dudes. I would say I'm kind, but not gentle as much. And so, yeah, Trey, like you're 100% right. And like, again, y'all, this is Trey Lambert with Perfect Turf, in Oklahoma. You're listening to the Down to Business podcast, but if you're listening right now and you own a business, whether you're a woman or a man, I just implore you to think about what you're doing. like actually think about what you're doing. I think I told this story, but I had a guy a month ago, Trey, who hit me up, and he was basically like, I started this business because my son needed it, and now I'm like broke and I'm having suicidal thoughts. And I was like, bro, quit.
Yeah.
He's like, what? I'm like, quit. Go be a manager somewhere tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yep.
And he was like, what do you mean? I put so much time into it. Like, doesn't matter. Like, it's not, dude, we are so much smaller than we think we are. Like I was listening, I was going back to that same meeting that was what we talked about. It's like, there are only a handful of companies in the world, literally a handful, that if they like disappeared off the face of the planet tomorrow, that it would be a problem.
Yeah.
You know, like if Apple shut down, right, and we couldn't log in and get apps and like that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Verizon. You know, there's I can't even name probably 10. But guess what? If Coca-Cola disappeared tomorrow, who cares?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, sure, obviously they employ a lot of people. What I'm saying in terms of like impact, and we take ourselves too seriously. And we think, and then hopefully this, what I'm about to say is a word for somebody listening. Like, you're the only one that cares, like, about how, like, if you miss a lawn tomorrow, it is not the end of the world. If you don't get an order out tomorrow, it's not for a t-shirt company you have, it's not the end of the world. Like, yes, you want to do best. I'm not talking about like doing best for your customers and excellence and like all the core things of a business. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about just the simplicity of understanding that don't take yourself too seriously, right, Trey? Like, I don't know about you, but like, that's the freedom I've felt the last couple months now that I kind of made the change with Trifecta. Is for so long I just thought that like everything lived or died by if I got something done. And oh my gosh, what if this customer fires me? What if they do? Like, who cares, man? As long as you have your family, as long as you have, you know, obviously the asterisk to this conversation is like, if you're in like survival mode, you need to work 800 hours a week for a month. You know, like, you know what? It's funny. I just had a person, I don't mean to ramble, Trey. I want you to interject here, but I just saw a post this morning of a girl who's like, I have $7 in my bank account, but guess what? All my bills are paid and I'm going to go to the gym. And I was like, I'll probably go work 100 hours a week for a month, so I never have to worry about that again. Like, we live in a country where if you need to make money, you can go get 3 jobs and make money, and it's going to suck for like 2 months, but like you never have to worry about, you know, homelessness again.
No, I had a mentor tell me that, you know, there was one day, you know, I had 20 things I was just so stressed out about. And he was like, if you look back on the week prior, the things you were stressed out about always get taken care of. And it's just like, it's just part of your mentality and buying back time, but also too, and I know a lot of guys listening, they're trying to get better in their business. They're trying to learn their business. God has given everyone their own individual special gift.
Amen.
And I think the sooner you find that gift, the better off you're going to be. And it's kind of more or less sitting down by yourself and then writing out what you're good at. Like, what are you good at? And for me, my biggest blessing is being with, like, communicating with people. I'm really good at people person. So that kind of pushes me into a sales role. At the time too, is I've been gifted patience to own and run a business. Like, for me, patience is huge. I know you have it. But finding out what your gift is and then maximizing on your gift, like, because that's what you're given and that's your natural ability.
So, if you're bad at singing, God's not going to ask you to go sing the national anthem.
No, and you're not going to make top 26 in American Idol. So
I've been watching American Idol, by the way.
Morgan's got me sucked into it. I don't know.
You watch? How about our boy Cole?
Yes, yeah. Colin's my man.
I meant Colin Stowell. That's what I meant.
Colin's my boy.
Colin Stowell, though. He better win.
Yeah, I hope so. But no,
how's his accent? How's this accent? My name Colin Stowell.
yeah.
I'm from something, Mississippi.
Yeah. I was like, what do you say?
Isn't he from Mississippi, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Morgan, we were sitting there. I'm like, what? Am I okay? Am I losing my hearing, or can you understand?
I can't understand. Anyways, keep going.
I love my mama. But no, I love my mama. But I just think, you know, for me, it was like my come to Jesus last year was one, you know, when my client passed away, didn't get to fish more. He wanted to fish more. He worked so hard. He was always, he gave me the quote, and I'm going to have it up in my wall when we get our own office, but it's going to say, hard work ain't easy. He always was hard work ain't easy, and it's not. Hard work's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But that was a pivot in my life of, man, he wished he fished more, and he had everything. And this dude was so successful, and he wished he fished more. And then for me, it was like, I love fishing, but I want to create that time, but also too getting to the point where I was like, oh, what am I good at? What can I focus at? And then for me, buying back my time. Who can I hire that can take a role away from me, or take a role that I'm not good at, that I suck at? Who can I hire for that? But I think just buying back your time is just so important. But I think for everyone listening, they're building their business. They're hustling. They're in the hustle. They're in the hustle and bustle. But don't miss out on the key opportunities. Don't miss out on a family dinner because you got to go please someone. They don't, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like you said, if they're mad and they fire us for not mowing their lawn and it was raining outside, it doesn't matter. You're going to get a call tomorrow from someone that's going to pay you twice as much for half the work. So it always works out.
It does. But again, like, to kind of recap as we wrap up, if you're in like the hustle mode and you have to do it to like survive, then do it. Don't do it more than 9 to 12 months. After that, your rhythm's your rhythm. You tell your business how you want it to be, not your business telling you what it's supposed to be. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned over the last 4 years is like my business gets told what it is rather than I get told what to do by my business. Like,
that's why we all do it. That's why we got in business.
That's why we got in it. And I think we forget, like today on Fridays, like none of my landscape guys are working. They work 410s, but not a single 8 of them are in the field. I'm about to leave after this, wrapping up this podcast. I'm about to go take my kids to the zoo. It's 12:15 in the afternoon. I'm about to take my kids to the zoo, and then I'm going to a baseball game. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to give people tangible, like legit. We worked a normal week, and then this is what I like to do on Fridays. I try to get done by 1 o'clock on Fridays. Obviously, there's one days it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
But
I've
tell your time.
By the way,
have you been doing it?
Same thing. Yeah, 410s.
Are your boys out there today or no?
Yeah, they're out there today because it rained Wednesday, Thursday.
You rained out Wednesday.
So we're gonna mow. They're out landscaping and mowing today, and then one crew's coming in to mow a church in the morning because we got to it because it's been wet. But ends, we get my guys that come in here for interviews. And I'm like, listen, like my biggest thing is spending time with your families. We're gonna work 40 hours. You take Friday, go do your thing with your family.
Well, you're about to have that life in front of you, Dad. Your baby's due in July.
July 2nd. And my brother that's been with me for years, he works for me. His baby's due June 25th. So
my son's birthday is June 28th.
Cal?
Yeah, Cal's.
That's awesome. Now
mine's June 27th.
And this is gonna be the first for Cole and I. And
You're gonna love it.
Trying to make sure, understanding how valuable our time is moving forward with the with our families and starting a family.
Love it. All right, everybody. Thanks, Trey. Down to Business Podcast with Xander Kirby. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure you go out and write down. If you don't have any time, write down how you can get more time. And make sure you understand your pricing, as we talked about early in the episode, so that you actually can make money in your business and not just be in business to pay bills. Thanks, Trey. See you, everybody.